What's going on, everybody? This is Brian from SneakerFiles.com, recapping the news, and before I jump into things, like always, greatly appreciate a thumbs up, and if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. Now, in this video, there's a ton of stuff to go over, but we got a lot of updates from Jordan Brand. Now, to go over some of those highlights, I have details on the upcoming Air Jordan 12 Bucks. As well, we have a first look at the Air Jordan 10 Shadow and the Air Jordan 8 Bugs Bunny. Jordan Brand officially unveiled 9 upcoming colorways of the Air Jordan 11, plus there's tons more from Jordan Brand. Also in this video is a small amount from Nike and one thing from Reebok. And now, let's jump into the news. PlayStation is celebrating its 30th anniversary with Reebok by releasing a new collection. Now, this collection includes the Instapump Fury 94, the Pump Omni Zone 2, and the Workout Plus. Each pair also represents a different part of the world. So the Instapump Fury 94 is for Japan, the Pump Omni Zone 2 represents the US, and the Workout Plus is for the UK. Now, each pair comes with gray detailing, which resembles that of the original PS1. They also feature PlayStation branding. What I like is on the Omni Zone 2, the PlayStation branding is placed on the pump located on the tongue. Also, each pair comes with special packaging. Now, on one of the packages, I noticed that there's a small label in the bottom left-hand corner that reads Collector's Edition 1 of 750. I'm not sure for which shoe it is because they're all grouped together, and there still is a possibility that all of these will be limited. Now, I did reach out to Reebok. Unfortunately, they didn't get back to me before recording this video. I had some questions like, when is the release date, if they're going to be limited, and what's the pricing, because none of that information we have. The rumored release timeframe is this month, which obviously could still happen. The month is fresh. And on a side note, I did think initially it was a little bit weird that PlayStation is celebrating its 30th anniversary because in 2024, that's when it would be its 30th anniversary. The PS1 dropped in 1994. However, it was in December of 1994, so they still got a couple months to drop the pack before it becomes its 31st anniversary. But this pack is really dope in my opinion, and once I have more information, I definitely will make sure to update you guys. Moving on to Nike, and we have new photos of the Nike KD4 Texas Longhorns. Now, prior to this, we had the one image from the Sneakers Live, but with these images, it gives us a better look. Now, I'm not sure if it's the lighting, but these do look closer to the OG compared to what was shown on the Live. It seems that a lot of sneakers that were shown on the Sneakers Live, the lighting is off because, they're trying to use super bright lights to show the shoes, but it throws the coloring off. Anyways, I have seen some places that have released the shoe really early, but the release date is October 24th, and the retail price will be $135. I'm going to be honest, there's not a ton of news on Nike right now, so I'm kind of including some stuff that maybe I traditionally wouldn't if there was more news, but official images popped up of the Air Max 95 OG Solar Red. Now, these images have been going around for about a week. I did go over them in the release dates video. I decided to showcase them again because there's not a lot of Nike news. Overall, I do think they look nice. It seems that a good amount of retailers will have them, but I'm sure everybody knows they are currently scheduled to drop on October 10th. One of the spots you can get them at is on the Sneakers app, and the retail price will be $190. This shoe I probably should have showcased in my last news video, but for some reason I left it out. I'm not sure if I just forgot to put the link up, but coming soon, well, during the holiday season, we have the Nike Book 1 What The. As most people know, the What The release is typically the last shoe of a signature line to be released before they move on to the next model. So Booker was seen wearing this pair during the Suns Media Day, and apparently they are rumored to be released. There's a style code and so forth connected to the shoe, but they're going to be limited. Now, as you can see, the shoes feature a mixture of colors, materials, and so forth that connect to previous Book 1 releases as well as PEs. So some of this stuff includes, on the left shoe, we have safari print across the mudguard, Sedona graphics, reptile textures, Chevy-inspired gold suede on the toe box, and the Halloween cross-stitching. Also, the laces are from the 95 All-Star pair, and we have No Sir embroidered in the Moss Point font. Now, on the right shoe, we have desert camo on the tongues, rainbow on the collar, snakeskin overlays. The panels are also taken from the Blue Blood pair, and they feature a map of Flagstaff. Now, you guys remember that I said they were limited? Well, the rumor is that only 1,996 pairs will be released, which represents 1996, the year Devin Booker was born. So this pair is expected to drop this holiday season, so somewhere between October and December, and the retail price will be $170. For those who are waiting for the Nike Air Foamposite 1 carbon fiber to be released, unfortunately, the pair has been delayed. So initially they were supposed to drop on October 10th. However, the new release date is October 24th. So still dropping in October, just gotta wait a bit longer, and the retail price will be $240. Some people may know about this shoe, some people may not, but back in 2010, the Nike Air Max 95 Apple Green was released, and this pair was a JD Sports exclusive. At that time, I believe JD Sports was exclusively a retailer overseas. Now they do have spots in the US. Anyways, a lot of Air Max collectors really like this pair, and the good news is they are returning in spring 2026. So the pair shown is the 2010 pair, and it features a black, photo blue, action green, anthracite, white, and iron gray colorway. So this pair is really clean. It features gradient across the panels, displaying shades of white, gray, and anthracite, but the highlight of this pair, at least in my opinion, is photo blue and action green details. So that lands on the branding, the eyelets, laces, and what I really like is that it kind of gradients across the Air Max unit. Now the 2026 pair is expected to feature a big Air Max unit, known as the Big Bubble. And as for a specific release date, unfortunately, we don't have one, but they're going to drop spring 2026, which means the release will take place between January and March. Also, the retail price will be $190. We have a first look at one colorway of the upcoming Undefeated Nike Air Max 95 pack. So there's a total of 5 colorways dropping, and this one is known as Simply Black, due to the colorway which is black, metallic silver, gorge green, and sport red. Now the highlight of this pair is the strip that wraps the entire shoe. That resembles the Air Max 97 collaboration that Undefeated did years back. I did talk about the shoe months and months back. I did a mock-up for a different colorway, but I did mention that it would feature the stripe that wraps the shoe with repeated branding. Now that stripe comes in red and green, the Undefeated branding is in white, and then we have metallic silver on the swoosh and the lace lock. As for the base, it's covered in all black, but it features mesh, leather, and patent leather. Something I also like about the shoe is the Air Max unit. It's blacked out, and they also come with 2 sets of laces, one in black and one in red. Well, the second one is black with red detailing. So the whole pack is expected to drop this holiday season, so sometime between October and December, and the retail price will be $200. Alright, so moving on to Jordan brand, and a new colorway of the Air Jordan 40 popped up. This pair is known as Bordeaux. I really like the colorway on this, which is Bordeaux, University Red, and Burgundy Crush. As you can see, the pair features suede across the upper. We also have textured leather on the overlays, and the purple hue pretty much covers the entire shoe. We do have Burgundy Crush as well, and there is a little bit of University Red, which appears to be on the branding located on the insoles. I still haven't picked up an Air Jordan 40 yet. I really like the model. I like the first colorway. For sure, I'm going to buy the upcoming Ferrari pair. Yes, there's going to be a hybrid of the Jordan 40 and the 14, but that will be for 2026. But for this pair, I heard that they were going to drop in December, but they could be released earlier, and the retail price will be $205. Alright, so we do have official photos of the Air Jordan 5 35th anniversary, also known as medium soft pink. This appears to be one of the best releases in October. Unfortunately, a few shoes got moved out of October, Well, let me take that back. One shoe has, another doesn't look like it's going to drop in October. And really, I just wanted to showcase the official photos. They do feature 3M reflective on the upper, which I'll include a photo of that as well. The number 23, the font has been updated to reflect the OG. And they will be available in full family sizing. So they're scheduled to drop on October 11th. The retail price will be $215. Last week, Infinite Archives released their Air Jordan 17 Low collaboration early via raffle, but they did confirm that a wider release will take place on October 7th. And on a side note, they did an interview with Complex that they're going to do something special in Chicago. So for those who live in Chicago, you have that to look forward to. But two things. One, I wanted to showcase these new images just because it gives us a better look. And two, we do have an updated retail price. So initially supposed to be $305, it's actually $255, which is way better in my opinion. $255 is still high, but I'd rather pay that than $305. This pair I really do like. I like the iridescent detailing that wraps the heel. And then the outsole, as most of you know, is a nod to past Air Jordan 17 releases, as well as the Mike Bibby PE. And the upper, which is done in beach, that's a nod to the Off-White Air Jordan 4 by Virgil Abloh, as well as Don C's Air Jordan 2. Both are from Illinois. Now, these should be available on the Sneakers app. I haven't heard about additional boutiques just yet, but that information should be available soon and currently scheduled to drop on October 17th for $255. Images just leaked of a new Air Jordan 1 High OG. This pair is known as Elephant. Now, the elephant nickname is due to elephant print being placed on the swoosh. And the official colorway is Cell, University Red, Pale Ivory, and Coconut Milk. So the pair is constructed with leather, and we also have a Jumpman embroidered on the toe box. That's something we've seen on Nike SB Air Jordan 1 releases. Now, the tongues also feature an aged makeover, and then it comes with exposed foam. Now, if you look at the ankle, it looks like there's reptile texture across it. And then we have red on the Nike Air branding, as well as the stitching on the heels. Other details includes a white midsole, and then we have a milky translucent rubber outsole with Flight branding. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a specific release date, but this pair is expected to drop in December, and the retail price will be $185. For the first time, an Air Jordan 11 collaboration will be released to the public. Now, this will be an Air Jordan 11 Low in collaboration with the WHITAKER Group. So for those who don't know what the WHITAKER Group is, it's owned by James Whitner. And if you don't know who that is, which I'm sure a lot of you do, he's the owner of A Ma Maniére, Social Status, APB, amongst other businesses. I'm sure he has partners as well. So essentially, we have another A Ma Maniére collab, but it's just going to be headlined by the WHITAKER Group. Now, images have yet to leak, and there is a little bit of information. So the colorway will be Wind Chill and Wind Chill. I looked up what that shade is, and it's a shade of blue. Also, this will be a women's release. And other than that, we don't have information on how they look. I just really hope it's not plain and simple. It doesn't need to be over the top, just something different. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, as for the release date, they're expected to drop summer 2026, which means a release will take place between April and June. And the retail price will be $200. Alright, so we have a first look at a couple upcoming Fragment Union Air Jordan 1 High OG releases, and this pair is known as Sport Royal. So we initially saw the pair on the feet of Hiroshi Fujiwara, the owner of Fragment. Comparing images that he was spotted wearing versus the retail pair, it looks close because the pair Fujiwara had was a sample, so of course things could change, but they do look pretty much on point. I actually really like this colorway. It's a toss-up between this one and the next pair I'm going to talk about. But the rumor is that this pair will be limited to 15,000 pairs. Now, what I will say is that's only a rumor. I don't fully believe that's true. But I will say the pack is expected to drop as a regional release. Now, as far as where this pair is going to be available, I'm not sure. I know the black and white pair, or the white and black pair, will be available overseas. The next pair I'm going to talk about, I was told, will be available in US amongst other markets. But for this one, I haven't heard. Now, as for a release date, the pack is rumored to drop sometime in February, probably around All-Star Weekend, and the retail price will be $205. All right, so the second Fragment Union Air Jordan 1 High OG to talk about is being called Varsity Red in Sport Royal. Now, this pair will feature a black, white, Varsity Red in Sport Royal colorway. The rumor is for this pair, I believe, is 44,000 pairs. Again, I don't believe it. I know where the information came from, and typically sneakers get made in different factories, so even if that is true, from the individual who's saying it, that's just one factory, but I don't believe anything that person says. Anyways, this pair is also being called Top 3. They kind of remind me of the Air Jordan 1 High OG Top 3, but of course with the whole Union and Fragment elements added. This pair for a while was my number 1. My number 2 was the Sport Royal pair, but I don't know, I kind of think the Sport Royal is a little bit better. But for this pair, they're expected to drop in the US amongst other parts of the world. And as for a release date, unfortunately, we don't have one, but again, February is when they're expected to drop. Rumored to be sometime around All-Star Weekend, and the retail price is expected to be $205. Alright, Jordan Brand officially unveiled 9 upcoming colorways of the Air Jordan 11 to celebrate the model's 30th anniversary. So I'm going to go over each pair. I'm going to read from their press release. As well, I'll give you additional details that wasn't provided in the press release. But it reads, an icon writes their own rules. No blueprints, no boundaries, no limits. Case in point, Michael Jordan's return to the game in 1995 when he dominated the league and the streets in the disruptively sleek Air Jordan 11. Eye-catching, glossy, and the first of its kind, the shoe was an instant standout, bucking trends and tradition as only MJ could. This season, to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Air Jordan 11, the storied silhouette returns with community-driven stories from around the world, featuring unexpected colors, textures, and materials that completely flip the script. The Air Jordan 11 styles will be available across sneakers, Nike digital channels, Nike and Jordan brand stores, and select retail partners. First up, we have the Air Jordan 11 Inner Beast, and this will be a kids exclusive. And from Jordan Brand, it reads, as Jordan Brand's first standalone kids Air Jordan 11, this silhouette's roots are tied to MJ's relentless work ethic on and off the court, along with his black cat persona. Every detail ties back to MJ's stealth and the furiousness on the court, from the cat scratch graphic, velvet camouflage, and premium leather to the embroidered Jumpman and glow-in-the-dark outsole. The bold design encourages the next generation to show up as their most brave, confident, and authentic selves. So that's something new. I didn't know it was tied into the Black Cat theme. I did notice the paw print. I thought it was like a beast of some sort paw print. And then, of course, on the insoles, it does read Inner Beast. But yes, this will be a kids exclusive, dropping on October 4th for $185. I've seen them listed on Foot Locker, so that's one of the spots you can pick them up from. So behind the scenes, this pair was being called Grand Finale and nicknamed Cell due to the colorway, which is Cell, Pearl Gray, White, and Metallic Silver. However, in the press release, Jordan Brand is calling them Pearl. And it reads, a silhouette that flips the script, the women's Air Jordan 11 Pearl features pearlescent details and a premium cell leather upper that nod to timeless traditions and raise the stakes with new energy. Wide ribbon laces and a freshwater pearl keychain create further distinction, daring others to look. So again, this will be a women's exclusive release. Unfortunately, I don't know if they come with the second set of laces. I kind of hope they do. Overall, it's a clean look. But they're scheduled to drop on November 11th. The retail price will be $235. A pair that's been shown off quite a bit now, we have the Air Jordan 11 Rare Air. And it reads, built to close the Rare Air series with a bang, the Air Jordan 11 Rare Air features a custom colorway with red and blue color blocking and a tinted outsole. The Jordan letter insignia along the eyelets reminds athletes to lace up with greatness and step on uncommon ground, all with a touch of heritage. I do find it a bit odd that they don't mention anything about like old sample pairs that feature Jordan down the eyelets and even the mess up on the DMP, since the whole Rare Air series is kind of like mishaps that happen in the factory, errors and stuff like that. Now on the website, it has they're going to start releasing on October 1st. And that is for overseas places. I believe some did drop them. But as for a stateside release, the release date actually got delayed. So initially supposed to drop on October 20th. The new release date is November 5th, and the retail price will be $235. Probably a reason why I didn't see them start popping up on release calendars. I believe the only spot I saw for October 20th was DTLR, but I should have an update on this pair soon. Probably the number one release of the Air Jordan 11 for a lot of people. We have the Air Jordan 11 Gamma returning. So from the press release, it reads, reminiscent of the OG, the Air Jordan 11 Gamma rewrites the legacy in style. Gone full night mode, the Air Jordan 11 first all-black colorway isn't seen but felt with accents of Gamma Blue heat. The signature patent leather mudguard, translucent outsole in nylon mesh, light up the night with unmistakably high energy. Some of the stuff is kind of cheesy, I'm not going to lie about that. But when they say that it's reminiscent of the OG, it's because the higher cut patent leather, the original pair which dropped in 2013, had a lower cut patent leather and the overall shape has improved. But this will be a big release. A lot of pairs will be available, dropping in full family sizing, of course. And for now, the pair is scheduled to drop on December 13th. And the retail price will be $235. Next up, we're going to talk about the US regional pack. And the first pair is the Air Jordan 11 285, and this is for Atlanta. And from Nike, it reads, as the final inclusion in North America region-specific Air Jordan 11 pack, we're going backwards here. So this is one of three. The Air Jordan 11 285 embraces the ATL with an exclusive design that pays homage to Interstate 285, which encircles the city and encapsulates its vibrant culture. A leather upper gives the silhouette a premium feel, while a debossed route around the mudguard provides a distinctively local look. A multicolor sock liner and footbed lend an additional tribute to Atlanta's street art culture. I think this pair is clean, but it's probably my third favorite from the pack. And this pair is scheduled to drop on November 22nd. Now, reading from Nike, it reads, in-store at select regional retail partners locations in North America. So what I was told is they're going to drop in Atlanta. I don't know which stores just yet, and if it'll be multiple stores in Atlanta. I assume it would be, and I'm sure as we get closer to the release date, we'll have the specific locations, which I'll make sure to include in a following sneaker news video, but the retail price will be $250. The second pair represents Houston, and it's known as the Air Jordan 11 H-Town. So from Nike, it reads, simple, elevated, premium. Included in a North America region-specific Air Jordan 11 pack, the Air Jordan 11 H-Town channels Houston's famous hustle by representing the trunk of a car. Locals' first boutique when they're coming up, and the first flex when they get there. Nuanced and intentional details include a silk suede upper and a chrome Jumpman logo. Now, what I also like about the shoe is the blue on the outsole. Now, another thing I wonder is because they didn't show images of the insoles, but if it actually has something connecting to Houston or Atlanta, and then the third pair Las Vegas, like maybe just the name or a map and so forth. But for this pair, they're scheduled to drop on November 22nd. They're going to be available at boutiques in Houston, and the retail price will be $250. All right, so the last US regional exclusive release is the Air Jordan 11 Mojave for Las Vegas. Now, this is probably my favorite from the pack, but reading from Nike, it says, included in a North America region-specific Air Jordan 11 pack, the Air Jordan 11 Mojave embraces the unexpected narrative of the outdoors through an aged nubuck upper that takes on a purple shade reminiscent of Las Vegas Red Rock sunsets. The silhouette embodies the dry, sun-bleached textures of the city's buildings, with premium materials calling to mind the thriving antique and vintage markets residents know and love. A reflective Jumpman and edges remind of Vegas's bright lights, and a gold carbon fiber outsole plate speaks to the opulence of the strip. For this pair, expected to drop at boutiques in Las Vegas. And again, the release date is November 22nd. The retail price will be $250. We also have two pairs that are dropping outside of the US, and the first one is the Air Jordan 11 China. Now, the official colorway on this pair is Gem Red, Soft Pearl, Gum Medium Brown, and Metallic Gold. So, reading from Nike's press release, born from MJ's long-standing connection to China and Jordan Brand's commitment to growing the game globally, the Air Jordan 11 China honors the country's growing hoop scene. A canvas and suede upper decked with an embroidered and beaded pattern pairs with a brown leather mudguard, suede midsole, gum outsole, and silk lining to offer a uniquely crafted expression of the iconic silhouette. Now this pair has a ton of details. The leather mudguard looks premium. I don't know if it's actually premium or if it's due to the color used, but it looks nice. Now, as some of you might have expected, this pair will drop exclusively in China, and the release date is December 1st. Now, I expect the retail price to be $250, but unfortunately, we don't have the retail price at this point, but more details are coming soon. Okay, so the last pair is the Air Jordan 11 Tokyo, and on the surface, it looks kind of plain, but looking closer, you'll notice some interesting details. Now, the official colorway is light bone, phantom, gray, cell, and light bone. And reading from Nike's press release, honoring heritage throughout traditional Japanese embroidery, the Air Jordan 11 Tokyo connects vintage and modern themes, respecting the past while remixing it to a new generation. This is brought to life through a special edition silhouette featuring embroidery traditionally used to give new life and longevity to well-loved garments. A gradient leather mudguard, suede upper, and edge piping give the silhouette an elevated look and feel, while a map on the outsole nods to MJ's championship path. So on the tongue, there is special embroidery of a goat, obviously playing off MJ being the GOAT, not LeBron, MJ. But for this pair, they're going to drop sometime in spring 2026, which means the release will take place between January and March. And this pair will be available exclusively in Japan. No retail price as of yet, but probably around $250. Alright, for these next two sneakers, it's just a small update. The first pair I'm going to talk about is the Air Jordan 4 Tour Yellow. Now, a lot of people say it's not official until there's a style code in the colorway. You know, I typically agree with that. It just depends who's putting the information out. However, as some of you guys know, about 2 weeks ago, I think it was, I announced that the Tour Yellow Air Jordan 4 will be returning. But a couple days ago, I did receive the colorway and the style code for the 2026 pair, which is white, Tour Yellow, dark blue gray, and black. Now, I'm not going to read the style code out. I don't think anyone cares about that. And I just wanted to supply that information to you guys. And as you know, this pair initially dropped in 2006, part of the Lifestyle series. So 20 years later, we have the chance to buy it again. The pair will feature a removable tongue patch. And as for a specific release date, I don't have one, but they're going to drop fall 2026, which means a release will take place between July and September. Also, the retail price could be $220, although that part isn't confirmed just yet. So the second pair that I have a small update on is the Air Jordan 3 True Blue. I did receive the official colorway for the 2026 pair as well as the style code. But as for the colorway, it features white, varsity red, true blue, cement gray, and anthracite. Now, a lot of people think these are going to be reimagined because of the photo I used. I just used an OG pair, but they're not expected to be reimagined. They're going to be like the OG, updated shape with Nike Air. And running back a little bit of history, this pair has dropped a bunch of times. Initially released in 1988, and then the first retro we saw was in 2001. We saw another release in 2009, but that pair was available outside of the US. And then we saw another release in 2011. The last time they dropped was in 2016. The pair did feature Nike Air then, but believe it or not, in a lot of locations they sat. A lot of people didn't go after them. I did. I really like this colorway, so I definitely picked up a pair. But they're going to drop sometime in fall 2026, which means a release will take place between July and September, and the retail price potentially could be $220. Recently, we received a first look at the Air Jordan 8 Bugs Bunny, and overall, I'm happy with them. I'm a bit surprised how sneakers have been sitting, especially the Aqua Air Jordan 8. I thought those would sell a bit better, but then again, there's a lot of OGs sitting on shelves. A lot of people have been asking for this pair to return, but I do wonder if they're going to sit because they're expected to be a GR. So there should be a good amount of pairs available. Now, looking at the images, it does look like the blue on the Jumpman is a little more vibrant than I remember. That could also be due to the lighting. But overall, this is a classic shoe. I know a lot of people are happy about their return. Now, just to run back some history, they initially dropped in 1993. We saw the first retro take place in 2003. And then the last time they dropped was in 2013. So they were on this spree of every 10 years bringing them back. They waited a bit longer this time around. But as for a release date, they're currently scheduled to drop on December 20th, and the retail price will be $215. Man, now these are looking clean. We've also received a first look at the Air Jordan 10 Shadow. As you can see from the photos, there will be no extra piece on the toe. Funny enough, I saw some images going around a couple days ago showing the pair with that extra piece on the toe cap. Those were obviously fake. But again, another pair, in my opinion, that looks really good. Now from the photos, you can see that it will come in the retro box that was used in the mid-90s. It was the first retro box to be used. A lot of people are saying that this is the OG box for the Jordan 10. It is not. Actually, the Jordan 1, 2, and 3, the retro releases, came with this box. Now, as far as availability goes, I'm not sure yet. I will say it looks good that people are getting them in hand this early, about a month and a half out. And for me, this is probably one of my top pickups in November. Now, before I give you the release info, this is an OG colorway, first dropped in 1994. We also saw a variation of the shoe drop in 2008, which was part of the Countdown Pack series. They came packaged with the Air Jordan 13. The two shoes equaled the number 23, and that helped celebrate the release of the Air Jordan 23. And then the last time we saw this pair debut was in 2018. Now, as for the release date, they're currently scheduled to drop on November 19th, and the retail price will be $215. Now, I know this pair may not be as hyped as the Air Jordan 10 Shadow, or the Air Jordan 8 Bugs Bunny, or the multiple Air Jordan 11s I went over, but I did want to include this last because it's exclusive news. But in fall 2026, we have the release of the Air Jordan 12 Bucks. So, Jordan Brand is still trying to hide stuff. The official colorway of the shoe is white in multicolor. However, I was able to track down some information. The official nickname that Jordan Brand is calling them right now is Bucks. But when they release, they won't be calling them that because they won't be officially connected to the Milwaukee Bucks. But I was told that the pair would feature a white and green colorway, and the blocking resembles that of the Cherry Air Jordan 12. So kind of like the Jabari Parker PE. The pair features white on the upper, then we have green on the mudguard, as well as part of the midsole. Black hits the liner, the pull tabs inside of the tongue, while the top two eyelets will be done in metallic silver. If they look like this, I think this is clean in my opinion. I definitely will take them. There might be some minor changes here and there, but from what I was told overall, you can expect something similar to this to be released. And as for a specific release date, unfortunately, I don't have one, but fall 2026 is when they're expected to drop. So it means a release will take place between July and September. Also, the retail price is expected to be $205. Let me know your thoughts on this pair down below. If they drop exactly like this, would you buy? And that's going to do it for this video. Like always, greatly appreciate you guys for watching. If you have a second and haven't done so already, also appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. One more thing, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you can be alerted every time I drop a new video. Now, my next news video will probably be Monday or Tuesday. I'm not 100% sure. I'm trying to finalize some more leaks, find out more information before putting it out. But what I will say is fall 2026 is not looking that great. There's a few things here and there that I have yet to leak, but some of them are decent, but most of it, it depends on how they actually look because I haven't seen photos of most of it. But as far as OGs and older retros go, the True Blue 3 and the Tour Yellow 4 is the highlight. But for this video, let me know what you liked or disliked down below. As well, if you have any questions, make sure to leave those down below. Again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to SneakerFiles.com. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe.